the whole Africa and the whole world to hear this. If we are here, it's not because we want to live in this street here. No one in this world would prefer to stay in the street with his family. Do you understand? We ran away from our country because of the crisis. And that crisis is this international communities that are causing it. And all of you, you know, and we are aware of that. They are using Rwanda. They are using Rwanda to attack our eastern part of the country so that we must not be stable. We must be running here and there to other countries.
And what do you want the South African government to do about that?
All we want to do.
Now, you know, when the white person came to colonize Africa back in the days, he was very methodical in his ways. He was also very strategic. There's one particular strategy and method of the white person that I find very, very powerful. In the surface, it might seem, you know, humble and harmless and all that. We might not think much about it, but this is, or rather, was the most powerful and strategic move they ever made. Divide and conquer rule was when they came in between us, they incited us against one another. They would report news there and report news here. And, you know, we would get angry with one another and then we would fight one another. In the event of fighting one another, this was creating division. And then he would find a way to come in between and, you know, wipe us all out as black people. This was his strategy of divide and conquer. Later on, he went and established, or rather he called his brothers and cousins and sisters to Berlin, Germany, to come and find a way they would divide Africa among themselves. The person who was the head of this movement was Otto von Bismarck. I'll never forget this name because this man's idea has brought very many problems. It has broken families. It has led to loss of lives. It has brought about people to be homeless, you know. The divide and conquer policy is what brought about the Berlin Conference. The Berlin Conference is what brought about the countries we have today. Africa, we were speaking one language or different languages, but we would communicate with one another without need for papers, without need for paying, without need for all these we face today. I'm saddened by something that I find happening in Zimbabwe. I'm saddened by the things happening in these South African nations, you know. I'm not saying that Kenya is better than any other African country, no. But I'm saddened with the situation of black people in Zimbabwe, black people who are really suffering. They're trying to find a means to survive and they're trying to go to South Africa, but they get so much humiliated in South Africa and they get so much banished over there. You know, I'm feeling so sad about this. In Kenya, we have foreigners, but we don't do it as the South Africans do it. No, we don't do it in that way. I really don't know what really happens over there because what we really rely on is the news that is being presented. And sometimes the news that is presented is always biased. Let them have a good reason for this, but there is no, two wrongs will never make any right, no matter where you go. Two wrongs will never make any right. A Zimbabwean woman was complaining that she won't leave South Africa until some certain conditions are met. She stood her ground and she believed that South Africa was where her ancestors used to walk in the evening, go there by the morning, return home by evening. These are just two countries, different names and different boundaries. You know, there is no even a physical boundary. It's just a bush that someone calls South Africa and Zimbabwe. It's sad to listen to this woman, but we have to listen to her and then we shall have a further discussion by the end of the video. Let's dive in.
I want the whole Africa and the whole world to hear this. If we are here, it's not because we want to live in this street here. No one in this world would prefer to stay in the street with his family. Do you understand? We ran away from our country because of the crisis. And that crisis is this international communities that are causing it. And all of you, you know, and we are aware of that. They are using Rwanda. They are using Rwanda to attack our eastern part of the country so that We must not be stable. We must be running here and there to other countries.
And what do you want the South African government to do about that?
All we want to do, the UNHCR agency, they have the rights to protect the refugees. Is this how they protect refugees? And the UN, they are there in DRC. They call it MONUSCO. They've been there for more than 25 years. Still, there was no solution for that problem. Meaning it's the politics that they're using so that they can continue to loot those mineral resources because of the envy. The whole world, they're envying our mineral resources. No country in this world has mineral resources like DRC. No one. If anyone is here to contradict me, say it openly in front of the camera. DRC is the richest country in the whole world in terms of mineral resources.
How do you feel that they took your baby?
I'm not happy at all. We have the right as human beings. They are coming to arrest us. For what reason? They say you have two options. Either you go to Lindela or you go to Konsimapur. What did we do to deserve to go to Konsimapur? I think I prefer to go to Konsimapur. I'm gonna serve that sentence that I did not, for that crime that I did not commit. Let my family go to Lindela. I am going to Konsimapur and I will stay. They took my babies. Their father will take care of them. I'm gonna go to Konsimapur.
Why are you willing to go to Konsimapur?
I am going there because I don't have any choice. You know, I've been in Lindela. I've been in Lindela for 3 years. My child almost died there. And now, the only solution the South African government and the UNHCR they have for us is to take us to Lindela again.
How long have you been in South Africa?
More than 21 years I'm here in South Africa.
How did you arrive in South Africa?
I came in South Africa. I came from my country, I ran to South Africa. And that was a long time ago. You understand? So, I served this country. I worked in this country. Everything that I made in this country have been looted by the citizens of this country. Right now, more than 20 years, I have nothing.
Before you landed on the pavements of the UN offices here in Brooklyn, where were you staying before that?
We were in Bertrams, in Johannesburg. And we were attacked. Do you understand? We were attacked. They took everything from us. Do you understand? So every time they were attacking us, every time it was xenophobia. And the South African government, they do nothing about it. Those people who are killing, doing those xenophobic attacks, we didn't even hear that any one of them went to prison. None of them went to prison. So it's been like this, is what is going on and on and on. So is this how the South African government they're going to continue to do? Is this how the South African government they're going to continue to treat refugees in this country?
They're saying you are obviously at ease to integrate or reintegrate into the South African communities. Are you willing to perhaps consider that option to go into another community?
Listen, as we've told you before, every time we move to a different community, there is something that happens, and the government is doing nothing about it. This police that you see here, they don't even come to arrest those people. But here they are coming to take innocent people. The victims, now they have to be arrested. And those criminals are still out today. Even if I move to another community, it's still going to be the same story. We ask you, we ask UNHCR, the agents of refugees, that they have the mandate to protect the refugees. If they cannot take good care of us here, they can take us, there are many camps around. There is Botswana, there is Namibia, they can take us to any other country in the camp. But why didn't they do that?
The UN says they do not have the authority, they do not have the legal muscle to resettle you.
Let me tell you the truth now. Do you know why they don't, the South African government, they don't want to let the refugees go? This is business. This is business, it's purely business, because each and every head of refugee, they pay money, come from Geneva. And these refugees in South Africa, they don't pay them. They don't pay them. They don't.
How many children do you have?
I have 4 children.
Are they all here?
They're all here. They're all here. And the children, they are crying, they don't want to go to Lindela. So how can you give people two options? Either Lindela or they must go to Kosimapur. Why? Is that right? Is that right? I think this thing must stop now. This African continent, this is the time for Africa to wake up and face the reality. We cannot stand here as Africans to see this international community killing Africa. All this because of these riches that are in DRC. That's why we are here. Do you understand? It's because of the riches in DRC.
So if
DRC was not rich, I am telling you, if DRC was not rich, we were not going to be here because of the mineral resources that we have in our country. That's why we are here.
They took your baby already.
They took my baby's fine. And this is the human rights that you have in South Africa? Is this what you call human rights in South Africa? And the children are going, they're crying. They're crying. Is this what you call human rights?
How many kids of yours did they take away?
They took 4 of them.
The youngest?
The youngest.
Are you not concerned that your children are now off to Lindela without you?
You know what? Let me tell you one thing. If somebody is already dead, if you are already dead, can you be scared to go?
Do you know that there is no fence in Lesotho? Yet the Lesotho people are not here. Actually, Kgalema is the one who used to tell us this in the youth league, that but Lesotho ba ajwa fro ba no bi halagamu elisubela ba wela mra. It's imaginary. It's the colonizers dividing us and making us to hate each other for no reason. They will never come. Faith, Gauteng is more richer than Limpopo. The Limpopo people are poor. It's the poorest province. But I want about Limpopo. They are there. If that logic works, it doesn't have to start with a Nigerian who has to take so many flights to arrive here. If the poor are going to come, if there are no borders, and go where there are more opportunities, why but Limpopo was abandoned Limpopo? There's too many opportunities here. It's not true. No one will ever leave their home for that reason. But secondly, it's not the EFF that has always made Africans to come together. This city you are sitting in, it was built by the sweat and the hard work of all Africans. Mozambicans, Malawians, all of them. This mine that I told you, that the anchor of the South African economy is mining complex. These mines that are supporting our economy have always been mined by Africans without the EFF being formed. That's why the language Fanaka law was developed, because Africans have always been together. Le gaufile tlori malema ke ena tlenga Fanaka law. Ke ikreile namu, ke ikreile Fanaka law, which is a clear demonstration that Africans have always been together. There's never been a point where Africans have never been together. Le tswere gate, auna fence. Unoba gate fela mo Lesotho mo Swaziland mo Mozambique mo. There's no fence. Our people are already interacting, as it were, without any influx of any people coming to take from the poor of the poor.
Just imagine that is a woman, and just imagine if that was your mom or that was your sister. Imagine if those children were your children or your sisters or your brothers. Just imagine. All this, if you come to look at it, these are the works of Berlin Conference. These are the works of apartheid. These are the works of the person who brought about the divide and conquer. You see how divide and conquer is now appearing. You see, when it was starting such as a very small thing that we would not seem to find it very big as it affects people today. A chief would be told that your another neighbor is such a bad person, and then the other neighbor would be also told the same. You know, this is how it started. Now we started having enmity between us. Oh, you think of me this way. Okay, I think of you this way. This is what we are going to do. So these people are coming together and fighting, you know. And there's nothing new under this universe. The situation that is happening in South Africa is that South Africans are kicking away foreigners. They believe that these foreign, they call them illegal. Maybe there are illegal migrants, but I believe there is no country which does not have illegal migrants. There is no, it can't be. So they are trying to kick them away so as to create resources for themselves. I believe that we don't need to have illegal immigrants in any country, but we have the law, and the law should work its way. You shouldn't have to chase somebody like that. Maybe somebody came illegally and they built a business. This business has employed South Africans. This business is offering services to South Africans, is offering opportunities for South Africans. It's not good to come and just, destroy what someone has created over the years, in as much as they might be illegal. We have the law, and I think the law should take its course, Just imagine you do that and you go to this person's country or any other country. Would you like if such is done to you? I wouldn't agree. You wouldn't agree. I believe we should let the law take course, because the law promises us to give us justice. And it is justice when illegal people who are bringing bad things to our country to leave. And if they leave, we can only remain with the legal foreign migrants or illegal foreigners or whatever, My problem is one. It is happening between Africans and Africans. It's not happening between Africans and whites. You don't see South Africans or any other African country kicking away white people like that. We only have 2 countries that did it to foreigners outside Africa. We had Uganda, when Uganda kicked out the Indians and some of the white people and the Jewish people. Also, we had Zimbabwe when the late president, Robert Mugabe, he kicked away those imperialists who had grabbed land from the Zimbabweans. And he did this for his people, in as much as Uganda was hit with sanctions, but he did it to preserve the people and the culture and the name Zimbabwe, But our brothers and sisters are really suffering. I believe it shouldn't be that hard. We should create job opportunities, Julius Malema has placed it upright, and he has made it seem logical and easy to understand. These people are not moving up and down because they are bad. They lack an opportunity. And if you can find them an opportunity, I believe you should give them that. Yeah. There is so much to understand, and I want us to further this discussion on the comment section on what you think should be done with these illegal immigrants in South Africa. Just share your perspective. I'm not accusing South Africans of anything, but I'm just pointing out the wrong. I'm saying that 2 wrongs don't make a right, and if right needs to be done, we should let the law have its course. Yeah. Share your thoughts and what you think should be done. Let's further this discussion on the comment section. See you in the next one. This is EFK Original Documentaries. See you in the next one.